Let's get the car.
What's up, guys? It's your boy, Benny. This is the big one, the one that we have been waiting for. Andrew Tate is a free man. His brother, Tristan Tate, is a free man. Andrew Tate has been released from house arrest. This is his first day technically free. He's not supposed to leave Romania of 2023. It is August, and Andrew Tate is finally able to leave either a jail cell or his house. He has been released from his house arrest. Andrew Tate walking out of the trial today. The judge found the case against him circumstantial and based on hearsay, ruled it very weak. This according to Andrew Tate himself, tweeting after 10 months, 3 in jail, 7 at home, after 15 million euro in asset seizures, after an indictment based on nothing. The file was passed to a judge who said it's weak and circumstantial. I have been released from the house arrest and I must remain in Romania. Now, to the mosque. Tristan Tate saying judges have released me from house arrest. It doesn't matter how many fake screenshots haters share. Imagine having spent 2 years running an account showing old videos to say I'm guilty. Losers. Justice is justice. Law is law. Evidence is evidence. I am free. Tristan Tate, Andrew Tate, free. They have won, ladies and gentlemen, their appeal. They have now been released. Their lawyer spoke outside of what I see the security guard here, what I presume to be the Tate's compound here. That's what it looks like. You can see sort of the statue in the background. Let's go ahead and have a listen.
Cu victimele, bineînțeles, cu presupusele victime.
What plans do you have?
I'm not sure about the plans, but I know that lies grow tired, lies get exhausted, and time is on our side. And sooner or later everybody will understand
care vor fi planurile noastre pe viitor.
What am I looking forward to?
Vom
Going
vedea.
outside of the house, I guess.
E plăcut să ieși afară din casă. Vă mulțumesc foarte mult.
We'll see. I know this line was a hard line for a very long time. So
A fost o linie pe care noi nu am avut voie să o trecem.
Part of me still feels like the war is not over. The war is not over for me until everybody understands I'm
Încă mai
completely
simt că
innocent.
războiul nu s-a încheiat pentru mine și că mai sunt foarte multe lucruri de clarificat.
Any of this garbage understands exactly how incorrect they were, and I know that day is coming. So that's what I'm most excited about.
Însă se vor clarifica toate aceste lucruri, iar acea zi va veni în curând. Sunt declarații, doamnelor și domnilor, pe care le-au făcut frații Tate în urmă
exiting
cu
his
foarte puțin
home
timp.
there
Vă
in
reamintesc.
Romania. His home's become quite famous, actually, because it's the only place where Andrew Tate has been able to broadcast from and to post social media videos from. Let's go ahead and read what actually happened in court today. The judge in the appeals court once again ruled in favor of the Tates, and this time it was a unanimous decision. The new requirements are that they are not allowed to leave the surrounding country, essentially in Romania. This measure will stay in place till October the 2nd. So then presumably they would be able to then go anywhere, I assume. As the evidence is being thoroughly examined, senior judges are consistently ruling in favor of the Tates. The evidence is weak. The Tates are clearly innocent. Andrew Tate's statement. This is Andrew Tate exiting his a sort of iconic garage there and leaving for the first time a free man. Let's watch.
Good morning, everyone. In January, when I was thrown into a jail cell, the media reported and told the world that I was a terrible person. They said that I hurt people and I make a lot of money from criminal enterprise. And here we stand 7 or 8 months later, and I've not seen a single victim on the news. I don't know if you have. I've seen lots of girls sticking up for me, lots of people defending me. I've not seen a single person stand up and say that I have hurt them. Not one. It's very exhausting to continue to perpetuate lies. It's very hard to keep lies afloat when you have no actual evidence. We've been completely innocent since the beginning of this, and I have to give absolute faith to the Romanian judicial system for finally making the right decision and letting us free. I'm sure in the end we'll be absolutely exonerated, and everybody who was pushing these lies and reporting things on repeat without any substantial evidence are going to have to analyze within themselves why they decide to try and destroy people's lives purely for views. I've done nothing wrong. God knows I've done nothing wrong. In my heart, I know I've done nothing wrong. I think the people at home who are the functioning brain understand we've done nothing wrong, because nobody has yet to identify a single victim which is saying that we've done anything to them since the beginning of this entire process. Once again, absolute respect to the judge, respect to Romania, respect to the Romanian judicial system. I look forward to being completely exonerated in time. Thanks.
Can you visit this life? Can you go to the mountains now? Are you going to spend the whole...
Can you go to the mountains now? What? Andrew Tate posted this morning, quite early. GM. This is a photo of Andrew Tate wearing American flag fighting pantaloons. And what is that? Is that a statement toward the American forces that are effectively asking for Andrew Tate to remain behind bars? Are they letting up on Andrew Tate because they know that the war in Ukraine is now a complete and utter disaster, failure, and now everyone's going to try and look to get out of Ukraine? What's going on now? I mean, there are a lot of people positing that the reason they didn't want Andrew Tate online and the reason they needed him in a jail cell, and they used the most corrupt government in all of Europe, which is Romania, which is consistently listed as the most corrupt country in all of Europe. They used that country to lock up Andrew Tate because he was too influential to young men, and they needed young, dumb men to sign up for the armed services to go and fight in their fake wars. Old men who know each other, sending young men who don't to go die. Yeah, that's how all wars go. Maybe this is a shot across the bow there. Andrew Tate then posted this. He has posted 3 times since his release. One was a GM. One was the terms of his release, saying that a judge found them the case against him fraudulent and based on hearsay and weak. And then he released this. Apparently, Andrew Tate was ready for this one. There are hundreds of high-profile cases of men suffering false accusations. There are thousands of untold stories of normal men having their lives destroyed. I am launching a charity to protect the men from predatory evil. Let's watch.
I spent 3 months in a jail cell, in a dungeon, with cockroaches sharing my blanket with me. 3 months. Then I finally got released. 7 months I've been locked in my house, and today a judge decided to let me go. I want everybody at home to understand exactly why that is. Up until now, all of the imprisonment and the deprivation of my liberty had nothing to do with evidence. It wasn't about evidence in a case file. It was the Romanian judicial system trying to decide if 1, I am a public danger, or 2, I am a flight risk. And to be fair to them, I am non-emotional, I am a professional, even when I am suffering. And I understand as an international man of huge financial resource, it's easy to deem me a flight risk. So my liberty was deprived. Only recently I was charged. This indictment appeared. I want everybody at home to also understand that 3 different federal agencies from 3 different countries have investigated my life for the last 15 months. Every photo I've ever taken, every video I've ever made, every conversation I've ever had, every phone call, 2,000 people who know me were contacted. Every single ex-girlfriend, my vet, my pool guy, my old house cleaner in an apartment I used to have 11 years ago. You name them. If they had anything to do with me, no matter how tedious the link, they were contacted and they were interviewed. Hotlines were set up. Billboards were made. Has Andrew Tate ever hurt you? Do you have any information on Andrew Tate? The media was offering £50,000 for anybody who would give a negative story to me. Find another man who has hundreds of ex-girlfriends and not a single one of them rolled on me. Not a single one of them for money would say I'm a bad person. In fact, they would all say the opposite and defend me and stick up for me. You want to talk about a man of moral fiber? Find another man who can go through that. There's not another man on the street you can find whose ex-girlfriends who wouldn't turn on him. The media, all over the news. Andrew Tate's the worst man that's ever been. Andrew Tate's a human trafficker. Andrew Tate's a crime boss. He's a crime lord. Andrew Tate has all this money from illicit activities. Every penny I've ever made, all of my bank accounts seized. 15 million euros of assets were taken from me. They've been through every single bank transfer that I've ever sent. All of it, head to toe, to put this indictment together. So when this indictment is finally created, it should be an opera, right? It should be Shakespeare. It should show money transfers, victims, old victims from long ago, videos, pictures, medical records. This indictment should be absolutely bulletproof. The indictment was put together. I was held for 6 months without charge. That's the longest possible time I can be held without charge. The day before they finally submitted this indictment, it took as much time as they could. They took it down to the wire, every minute they could, to get this indictment together. And now the indictment's been put in front of a judge. And what has the judge done? The judge has picked up this indictment, looked at it, and said, this is garbage, let him go. Their bulletproof indictment. After all I just described, they finally put together a document that the judges instantly said, let him go, this man should not be held. Anybody who believed this garbage, anybody who was insulting me while I sat inside of a jail cell, saying that maybe I am a human trafficker because of some stupid video from 10 years ago, any of these people who once insulted me or refused to defend me because they were scared, and that is the same thing. Something I haven't realized, a whole bunch of people who are my friends now and on my team now and are now begging me to bring views to their podcasts didn't have very much to say while I was sitting in a jail cell. Not very much at all. Don't think I don't know. Me and my team know exactly who was on my team and who wasn't. And I also know what I have done and what I have not done. And God knows the same. It doesn't matter if I get at the end of this. It doesn't matter if I get completely destroyed. It doesn't matter if they put me in jail for life. I know what I have done and I know what I have not done. And I find absolute solace in that. Now I am free. Yes, I will remain free until the trial date when this garbage is finally thrown out and my name is absolutely and utterly clear. Anybody who believes any of this garbage is going to regret it, because I tell you something, Tristan said something to me in that jail cell was completely true. He said, 13 years in the Chateau d'If, and then the world is ours. If you have not read the Count of Monte Cristo, I strongly recommend that you do. In my final act of defiance against the Matrix, I've decided for my first day of freedom, I will visit the mosque and I will pray to God because Allah is the best of planners. And then I will return to my house and stay home. That's right. You locked me up for 10 months. Where are you going to go? What are you going to do? I'm a bit tired. I'm going to stay in my house. That's what I'm going to do. I only want to talk to God and I want to be by myself. I don't want to talk to any of these snakes, any of these people on the internet trying to get views out of me, any of these people who pretend they support me and give a when I really, when it gets down to the wire, it is me in a jail cell, me and my brother by ourselves, and all these other people don't seem to give a until there's views involved. Lies get tired. Lies get exhausted. It takes untold energy to continue to prop up a lie. It goes against the laws of physics. There's only so many times you can tell the world I'm a human trafficker with no evidence. Where's the girls? Where's the videos? Where's the victims? Where's the pictures? There's nothing. How many times can you continue to repeat the same garbage with no evidence? Nobody believes it. The moral arc of the universe bends towards truth. And I tell you something, when I am released from all of this, I'm going to use my massive platform and enormous financial capability to launch a charity to prevent this happening from any man ever again. This is enough, and it's going to have to stop, and I'm going to stop it.
So Andrew Tate, of course, not taking this lying down. Andrew Tate ready to go, hitting back hard, using X as the medium for his platform along with Rumble, and then also people like Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, and Patrick Bet-David, who've gone there to interview Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate has sat down with all of these individuals, and Andrew Tate is, in his 3-hour-long interview with Tucker Carlson, gave a response that I thought was absolutely the best response, that really personified what's going on right now in the world. Why do people hate you? This explains everything.
So what is it about your message do you think that infuriates certain people?
Well, my message is traditional masculinity. My message is to stand up and say what you mean and mean what you say. And even going to the gym nowadays is an act of defiance, because when you have a man who's built with any degree of principle, you say no to things. And I think if I have to analyze my message and why I'm so disliked by the people who dislike me, it's not the things I'm saying. It's the fact that if you adhere to my principles and you adhere to the things I say, you end up being the kind of person who will resist certain ideas. You say no. What kind of man never says no? Name a man who never says no. Men say no, right? Men wake up and say, no, I don't think that should be done this way. No, my children will not be taught that.
No. The father's primary job.
Absolutely. So when you say to men, listen, you're allowed to have an opinion. You're allowed to have standards. You're allowed to have boundaries and barriers. You're allowed to get up and become important and work hard and try hard and become the kind of man who can't be controlled. Then you're seen as an enemy. And especially with the massive influence I've gained, I think they look at me and go, he's helping men resist to slave programming. We don't need him around. We need to empty their brains so we can inject the slave programming and convince men to be eunuchs, because once you're eunuched, then you're not a threat.
I think I buy that, because your message, I'm not the world's expert on your message, but I've seen a lot of it, and it's not explicitly political, actually.
No, it's not political at all. And their original attack before this Matrix attack is they weaponized virtue, which is what they usually do. There's no genuine virtue inside of these people. They weaponize virtue. They find a virtue and they turn it into a bullet and they shoot at you. I'm sure you know very well.
Yeah, I've heard.
Yeah.
They want men to be strong and be able to stand up for themselves, and Andrew Tate has proven that through all of this fraudulent trial, through all of the darts and daggers that have been thrown his way. He has held his composure, and he has absolutely proven himself to be rock solid and true. Ladies and gentlemen, we are happy that Andrew Tate is released today. Andrew Tate was, of course, being tortured by the machine, and the machine is breaking. Lies can only last for so long, and it becomes exhausting to actually uphold a lie. All corrupt systems collapse under their own weight. And Andrew Tate is free. It's your boy Benny. Like, share, and subscribe. See ya.